Are you planning on moving to Malta? Are you in Malta already and you're looking to change accommodation? Then this video is for you. Today I'll be talking about knowing your rights as a tenant, some experiences we had, and just basically trying to avoid funny landlords, so to speak, and everything you need to know really about renting in Malta. Welcome to my channel, welcome to my space. Today I will be talking about accommodation in Malta, renting in Malta. I know that renting in, I think even everywhere in the world, across the world, it is always a hassle. It's never easy. Even back home in Nigeria, it was a hassle to find the perfect place and a place that you would actually really enjoy and like. So yeah, let's just get started. Before I continue, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. Okay, when you move to Malta, especially if you got a job and you're settling here, or if you do not have a prior arrangement, because there are some people that especially if you're coming to study, there are some schools that actually do assist with accommodation, so you do not have to worry about that. However, if you are coming to work here, or if you are studying and you do not have any prior arrangement, then it is really important that that is sorted out, especially if you are coming to work, because for you to go to Identity Malta to apply for your residence permit, you need your accommodation. You need a lease agreement between yourself and the owner of the apartment. Okay, so I mean, it is really priority. Most times when you come in here, you come in with some sort of visa that, and even like if you have a tentative work permit, it kind of expires after a particular day. So you need to sort out your accommodation before it expires, so that you can go to Identity Malta to get your ID, your residence card. And usually it's long term. It has to be like 6 months. I think it's even 1 year actually. Sometimes some people actually do plan before they arrive in Malta. They try to like see how they can rent an apartment before moving in. But it's good. I mean, that gives you rest of mind, right? But for me, I think it's a little bit tricky, especially if you do not have someone here that can actually go to the apartment to view it for you. Because yes, there might be videos and all, but videos really doesn't do justice. You might want to see the area, you might want to see the environment, you might want to see like details that you might be very particular about. I'll start by saying that in Malta, the houses, if you're coming as a single person, most people try to share apartments, because first of all, you save costs and it gives you an opportunity to meet at least other people as well. But if you like your own personal space, you don't want to share, you don't want to have to deal with different kinds of people, then you can get a studio apartment. A studio apartment is just like pretty much your bathroom, your kitchen, and your bed space. Yeah. And then, or you could go for a 1-bedroom apartment where there'll be a separate room, the living area, and then your bathroom and kitchen. And I would say to a very large extent, the apartments in Malta, at least where we've stayed so far, we've stayed in like 2 houses before. Yeah. So the houses are quite sizable. Like it's not tiny, it's not small. I will show you some examples. As you can see, like they're actually usually spacious. It's not like cubicles. However, I'm sure there will be like very small, tiny apartments, or what I call them cubicles, that people would, even actually rent like a bed space. So aside a shared apartment, you could decide to share the room as well, and there could be like, let's say like an hostel kind of arrangement, to where there will be several beds in a particular room and all. It all depends on what you want and your budget. In the apartments in Malta, it usually comes furnished, so you do not have to start worrying about buying anything at all into the property, which I feel is really cool. Yes, you might really not be cool with a particular design or style, right? But I mean, it's temporary. It will not stay there forever, You do not have to worry about buying any furniture or anything to fit in a particular space, right? Everything, it comes fully furnished. Mostly, I think 95% of the time it comes fully furnished, right? Everything you need, really. You do not... the house is supposed to come with, furniture, kitchen appliances, fridge, washing machine. In fact, some houses, like the last place we stayed in, had a dishwasher, air condition. See, I know there are some houses that might not have air condition, and maybe it might be lower, but you really need some sort of, when it's hot during summer, you need air condition. Although usually the landlord is, so if there's no air condition, the landlord is supposed to provide fan, or during winter provide like some sort of heating, a gas heater or electric heater, right, to keep the place warm. And in fact, during winter, you find that when you're outside, it's actually warmer than when you're in. I don't know, in some, not everywhere, because I don't think I've actually witnessed this, to be honest. No, it's always, in my own case, where all the houses we've stayed in, it's always same. I mean, I've not noticed any difference, right? But there are some houses that when you're outside and inside can be damp, and because when it's damp, that's when you start having molds on the wall, and so there are some times that mold issues can be very, very annoying. I think the very first house we stayed in, we had issues. No, we didn't really have issues with molds per se, but I mean, it happens. I hear people complain about it a lot, so it's something that you might want to really check with the landlord and agree that, okay, when these molds come out, he would paint it and basically take care of his property. Another tip that I will give, see, when you are moving into the house, please just take pictures of everything. Take pictures of the walls, take pictures of the floor, the furniture, surfaces, like take pictures and keep it, because see, landlords in Malta, like they want their houses are monuments. Like they want it the same way it was given to you. Obviously, if you stayed in the place for a while, there'll be wear and tear for sure. So you need to define wear and tear, because some of them will be like, oh no, it shouldn't be this way, it shouldn't be this. And maybe it was even poor quality furniture, whatever that was in the house in the first place. So I don't know. So you need to just take pictures of anything. Like the very first house we moved in, we had lots of issues in that house. Really, we got it through like a developer, and then along the line, someone else purchased the house, so it was the person that we're now dealing with. But we had lots of issues. It says that, they're like, the walls, come on, the walls are painted white, like there'll be stains in some areas, and then the chair, I remember the dining chairs were really, really low quality, and they were already peeling. Even at the time we moved, we were already seeing signs that this thing was going to peel. So we had lots of issues with, okay, no, this should be this way, this should be this way. So at the end of the day, we lost the deposit. If there are any issues between yourself and the owner of the property during the course of your stay in the apartment, in terms of fees, one issue or the other, one problem in the house or the other, see, whatever conversation you have, let it be written in form of maybe messages, text messages, WhatsApp messages, or however, not word of mouth. Because in case there are issues, you would always have proof to show that, okay, at this point I complained about this, or at this point this wasn't done. And all. So another thing to note is that payment in Malta is always done ahead, 1 month in advance. So if, for example, you're looking to move in August, right, you have to kind of pay the 1 month fee ahead. And usually when you're getting a new apartment, there's the deposit that you need to pay, a 1 month deposit. So if your rent is like 600 euros, you pay a rent deposit of 600 euros that is refundable. And then if you are getting the apartment through an agency, agencies will ask for 50% of the monthly rent. So after you've found an apartment, mind you, searching for an apartment can be a hassle. I would not even lie. It can be very frustrating, especially, like I said, if you're coming during these busy months. Basically, they just want someone that will be able to pay the rent and someone that will not give them issues, which is fair enough, right? So they want to know what you do, what kind of job you do, Some of them might say they do not want certain nationalities, and sometimes I do not blame them, because it all depends on the experience you've had with a particular nationality. Depending on the time you move into Malta, as it is, it's a determinant factor on how much you would actually rent a particular place. So if you come during summer, oh my god, it is really, really pricey. It is even very difficult to find. Like a 2-bedroom apartment that you might most likely rent for 700 during winter can be like 900 during summer period. So most times it's best to just come if you can. I mean, obviously, if it's not in your hands, you cannot do anything about it. But if you can, it's best to go during winter or autumn period, or even spring. But summer periods from like June, July, August-ish, it's very crazy, because we have lots of, a lot of people coming in to study English language, and tourists as well. So in fact, most times people will just want to rent their apartment on short let basis, and also The time you come in is another factor. Also, the location is another thing. Like, of course, we have, like I mentioned before, Malta is not really big, so you can move around from the north to the south in 1 hour, to be honest. However, most times you might want to live close to where you work so that you do not have to start struggling with transportation. By the way, when I mean from the north to south is 1 hour, that's if you are driving. But if you are going to go on the bus, it will be like around, that would be like 2 hours. I think about 2 hours or a little bit less. So you can stay in the north of Malta or central areas, or you can decide to go to the south. So far north, like the Melia, Bujiba, and all of those areas, you would find foreigners there. Especially Bujiba, you find a lot of Africans, right? Then in Melia area, you find like mostly British people. I consider South really Maltese. There are more like locals in the South. However, in a place like Madagascar, I know there are a lot of Indians that stay there as well. So, I mean, you just get the best of both worlds. And far south and in the north, I consider it very family friendly. Like, a lot of families live either in the north or in the south. So central areas, if you like to groove, if you like fun, if you like life, if you like to party, just go to like the central area, Slema, St. Julian, Zira, and all of that. Like, and I even like the fact that in those areas, shops do not close. Like, you get something to buy till like late night. But in areas like where I've always lived, especially the south, and now in fact, the north where I live now is even fine. But where I used to live in the south, by 7 p.m., you would not see anything to buy again. Shops have closed. Everyone has gone to relax. You know, I told you that in Malta, people like to have a very relaxed, balanced life. They don't like too much stress. So even during public holidays, weekends, it's mostly you might not really, you have to really plan ahead, you know. But in the central areas, like shops are open till very late at night, you know. And then in the north as well, you know, it's family oriented. Shops actually do close early too, but I mean, you still find, you know, supermarkets here and there, convenience stores opening till really late. For me personally, I do not like the hustle and bustle of the central area. When I'm home, I want to know that I am actually home and I do not want stress. I want to relax in a very peaceful area, like really, really quiet. So that's it about the different localities and the different areas. Before contract signing, you need to have agreed with the owner that, okay, this particular rent is going to be registered. At the time we moved, there was nothing like rent registration, right? But now there's the rent registration. This is the website here. I mean, for me, I really, really find this rent registration site, like it's amazing. It kind of protects you and also protects the owner in case of issues in the future, right? So you need to, and some owners actually, they like to avoid registering their apartment because is that they want to avoid tax. You need to ensure that the owner is willing to register the rent, right? And in a case where the owner is like, oh no, I do not know how to register the rent, or I do not want to, I know something you can actually do if the owner, but then you have to have the owner's details though, right? So basically you need to get the owner's details together with your details, the property details, and then register it on this website. Okay, so as you can see on the website, you can create and terminate a registration here. Right, you can register a contract here in case the landlord is not willing to, or possibly does not know how to. Okay, you can renew your contract here. You can lay a dispute as well here. I mean, you can submit a dispute in whatever and as much as possible explain, or you can decide to withdraw the dispute. Right, we actually did not have this at the time, but thankfully it's not like we had major problems where whilst we were, as you can see, you can submit a dispute, you can also, they can report a tenancy too. Okay, I think creating and terminating a registration is pretty straightforward, right? So here it says, okay, the rental contract. So this is kind of an example of how the contract looks like. So obviously we have long legs, short legs. The first 6 months are mandatory for the lessee. The obligatory 6 months. Okay, so basically long term is 1 year. And I think that's what is required of from Identity Malta. However, only the first 6 months are compulsory. So after the first, unlike before, you have to wait till the end of 1 year, which is a very long time, especially if you do not like the place or if you found something cheaper. But from what I can see here now, the first 6 months are the only mandatory months, and then afterwards you can now give a 1 month notice to the owner and terminate the contract. And it works the same way too. The owner might decide that, okay, you know what, I do not want to rent this apartment to you anymore. You cannot just find an apartment just like that. So you have to give the tenant 3 months notice, right? By means of letter. Okay. So if the lessor fails to notify the lessee within the established period, the lessee is renewed. If the owner does not mention to you that he's not willing to rent before 3 months, then it's automatically renewed. So even you as a tenant, if you do not want to renew your contract, you need to also mention this 1 month before, otherwise it is automatically renewed as well. So you can pretty much find everything here that you need to know. If you have any queries or questions, just come here to see the laws that bind you, and basically all you need to know about renting in Malta. I hope you have found this video useful once again. If you have any questions, don't let me know. You can also go on the website rentregistration.mt for more details. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye.